What's up, you guys? Vinny Vendetta here, and welcome to another Summoners War video. And today, guys, we're going to be covering some ToA stages, specifically ToA 50 in ToA Normal and ToA 50 in ToA Hard. Got some requests for these today, guys. If you don't know, I'm pretty active in the Reddit forums. I usually post my video for the day in there first and get people's ideas, what kind of content they want to see. And this happened to be the most popular one, so we're going to go with ToA 50 and 50 hard for today's video. So we're going to start with ToA 50 hard, and I'm going to start going through it while I'm talking. And we're going to be using my go-to team. This is my standard team that I use mostly through anything. And as I go through it, I'll talk about replacements that we could also possibly use, since not everybody has these monsters. One thing I want to note about this stage in the hard mode, guys, you pretty much have to keep the boss from moving. He can one-shot your entire party with his third skill. It's absolutely insane. So you have to prevent him from moving altogether or keep him provoked, or both. So with this team lineup here, we're going to be able to decrease his attack bar with 3 of my monsters. And 3 of our monsters, and we have a provoke on 1 monster. So we have pretty good crowd control with that team there. So we will see how successful it is or isn't. I'm predicting that we're not going to have too much trouble with it. This team is pretty fail-safe. I generally don't have too many problems with it. And if you guys don't know much about these monsters, I've done a video on Woundhack, the Dark Taoist, and his brother, the Water Tower's Gildong, is very similar and fills the same role. So if you guys haven't checked that out, go ahead and take a look. Will really help you guys out with some ToA and ToA hard stages. I get questions a lot about how to beat ToA. So if you have a Spectra, the Fire Griffin, and if you have a Water Taoist or a Dark Taoist, you guys are pretty much set with all of ToA. So those two together can keep everything stun locked, and you bring a couple backup stunners just for when it happens to miss. But otherwise, guys, it's almost 100% chance success rate. Our main goal here is just going to keep the boss provoked at all times, or stunned. Well, obviously we can't stun the boss, so we need to keep him provoked, or we need to keep his attack bar decreased with 1 of 3 of our monsters. So Beretta can do it with his second skill, Spectra can do it with his third skill, and Basalt can do it with his third skill, and they're all on relatively low cooldowns. So we shouldn't have too much of a problem. As long as the only issue I see us bumping into is if Spectra misses some of the initial slows, which causes us to not get some of the debuffs off, then we might be in trouble off the start. But if we get all the slows we need and we get everybody stunned the first round, then we should be good to go from that point on. So I'm going to save up a couple cooldowns as we go through here. So replacements for these units, guys. Beretta, everybody should have Beretta already. He's fusible, guys, and if you're trying to grow into ToA and ToA hard, he's definitely the go-to monster. He's going to make everything so much easier, and he's fusible. So if you guys don't have him, you need to fuse him. He's a key element to a lot of these ToA and ToA hard stages. Spectra, guys, he's a net 3-star. He might be just a little bit harder to get, but he's still a net 3, so he shouldn't be too hard to get. And you guys can farm his brother Bernard the Wind Griffin to get skill hits for him. So again, another great monster that I definitely recommend for ToA. Very easy to get, and absolutely essential. Okay, so there we go. We missed 2 of the slows, so the 2 on the left will be stunned, but we're gonna have trouble getting the 2 on the right stunned in time. Let's just see if we can get a good proc with his second skill here. Perfect, so he totally recovered for us because the second skill hits twice, and it will put a slow on them, and if they're already slowed, it will stun them. And we got lucky enough that it slowed on the first hit and then stunned on the second. So now we're just going to defense break everybody. We are going to... looks like Basalt is going to move before the boss does, so I'm not going to reset his attack bar yet. I want to get some dots up because we need to kill these ads ASAP. And we're actually going to... yeah, we're just going to provoke here. Perfect. Because, guys, that boss, if he uses his third skill, it's absolutely just going to one-shot everybody, and we cannot afford that. And he hits like a truck. So we don't need to decrease his attack bar yet. We'll work on him just a little bit here. We're going to put attack break and glancing. Okay, we only got the attack break, that's okay. We're actually going to heal up here. And perfect, we get a good violent proc. Knock him back. Oh, we didn't get the knockback on the boss. So hopefully Beretta comes through for us. Obviously all these guys are going to be stunned. Hopefully Beretta, can we get the attack bar? Perfect, perfect, perfect. And then we're going to get a more attack bar decrease here with Beretta. Perfect. And then we will work everybody down, get a provoke on the boss. Perfect. Alright, we're going to keep him fast. Alright guys, so let's talk a little bit more about replacements, hoping everything here goes well. Mantora, guys, I just bring him because he makes my runs faster, because he has the AoE defense break, and I find that to be really important. He also has other kits, other abilities in his kit, excuse me, that are very effective, such as the AoE slow and the beneficial effect removal on his first ability. Very great ability, very great monster, guys, but not everybody has dark monsters, so a replacement for him, I would recommend bringing any other daughter, guys, just to make your runs faster. That's why I have him in here, is to make my runs faster. So if you have Thrain, the Dark Grim Reaper, or Hemos, the Water Grim Reaper, all good replacements for him. Or you could bring just another defense breaker. There's another monster that I'm kind of curious about. I don't know if you guys have tried her, but I think it's Rebecca. I'm not 100% sure on the name, but it's the Fire Mystic Witch. She has an AoE defense break and an AoE cleanse, so she might be a fun monster to take in and test out as a replacement for the Dark Serpent here at Mantora. Other than that, guys, we have Basalt, the Dark Mammoth. If you have him, obviously you already know he is an amazing ToA and ToA hard monster, so definitely bring him. If you don't have him, you can use his water brother ToaH, because he has the first skill Provoke, which is very important for these bosses, guys. We have to keep them provoked, otherwise they're going to use one of their abilities and we're all going to die. So I'm pretty much ignoring the ads here in this fight, guys, just keeping them stunned and working on the boss. I'm not worried about any of the ads moving. Hopefully we get a Provoke here. No, we did not, but we did Violent Proc. And we didn't get it again. Okay, it's okay. Basalt should take another turn before the boss does. That was some pretty bad luck there, missing those taunts. Let's see if we can get lucky. So yeah, Basalt, guys, you're going to want to take the Water Mammoth, which is a nat 3-star. And let's work a little more. Basalt should get to go. We're going to have to go for the Provoke here because the boss is... Oh my goodness, guys. We might end up dying here if the boss decides to... Okay. For some reason, guys, we lucked out there. The boss didn't use his third skill. But I don't really want to call that RNG because we did miss a Provoke 3 times in a row, which is very bad luck on our end. So we got lucky that he didn't use his third skill, but we also had bad luck that we didn't Provoke. So, so for Basalt, guys, you can bring his Water Brother ToaH. And then for the ToaH, guys, there's no real replacement for him. His AoE stun is just too good. And I've done a video on him, guys. Please check it out if you have the water one or the dark one. It's a very great ToA monster. Absolutely makes everything so much easier. So definitely recommend building him. Or you don't even have to 6-star him all the way, guys. Obviously, you could see I just have him 5-starred. The goal is that you never take hits ever, so you don't have to worry about them being tanky or anything like that. Sometimes, guys, I'll take my Mantora out and I'll bring Hemos in here. And my Hemos, I'll show you my Hemos because this guy's about to die. I'll show you the Hemos that I take into ToA hard, guys. ToA hard, and it works, and I use him to make my runs faster on some stages. And you might be a little shocked to see his stats. And this boss is almost done. Once we get one more special assault from Spectra, it will definitely be dead, and here we go. There we go, boss is dead. That's ToA 50, guys. ToA 50 hard. We talked about some replacements. And let me show you my Hemos real quick because I think you'll find that a little bit interesting. I use him in my ToA hard right here, guys. I use this monster. He is 3 stars, unawakened. But the reason I can do that is because the team that I haven't built around is so CC strong that I don't have to worry about the enemies ever taking turns and using abilities and hitting my monsters. So especially in ToA, that's very important. You can also see that my team lacks heals. The only healer I have is Basalt, and it's a very minimal heal, especially because it's based on HP, and my Basalt is rear defense, crit damage, defense. He's built 4 damage. So, I should probably max that out today. So guys, some monsters that you could use there. The main thing on that fight is you absolutely have to keep the boss provoked, and if you can, keep the ads CC'd. I don't think the ads are going to one-shot you, but obviously they're going to mess everything up and, make it a little bit more difficult. So, definitely want to keep as much CC in your team as you can, and other than that, I think you guys are good to go. If you have any questions, any more questions, or have some questions about specific units, let me know in the comments below, and I'll try to answer those as I see them. So that's ToaH 50 hard, guys. We're going to jump over to ToaH normal now. Okay, you guys, so here we are in ToaH normal, stage 50, as per request from the Reddit post that I put up today. We're going to use my standard team here. And I'll talk about replacements as we go. This might be a little bit redundant, guys, but I don't expect the people that came to watch the ToaH 50 hard are going to stick around for the ToaH normal part. So I'm going to talk about it in both, so it's going to be redundant, guys. You can mute me if you want, but we're just going to go over it again. So this is my standard team, guys. I use it for ToaH and ToaH hard. It's very good. I'll talk about some of the monsters as I go through this here. So the first one there you see is Beretta. And everybody should have Beretta, guys. If you're doing ToaH hard, you should have Beretta fused. It's fusible, easy to obtain. Doesn't necessarily need skill ups, but definitely a great monster. Okay, so one thing I want to talk about real quick is what makes my run so smooth and so possible. And it's going to be the Fire Griffin Spectre, which just put up the AoE slow that you guys see. And then the next monster is going to be the Dark Taoist Wound Hack. And I know not everybody has the Dark Taoist. But the Water Taoist has the same kit and it works just as well. I did a video specifically on the Dark Taoist, so if you guys want to check that out, go ahead. And this will kind of cover some of the things too. But his second skill here, guys, it attacks all the enemies 2 times and it puts the slow on them. If the target is already slowed when it hits, then it will stun them. And this is just about 100% activation rate as long as they're slowed. About 99% of the time, guys, it's going to stun and you will have absolutely no issues as long as they're slowed prior. If for some reason Spectra does not slow all 5 people, then this has a chance to slow them on the first hit and then still stun them on the second hit. So it's a very good kit, guys. It's what makes my run so smooth. Honestly, I could probably beat ToaH with just those 2 monsters. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay, I was like, what? There's no way this failed. But it's the passive of the these guys here that they cannot be stunned. So I was about to kind of freak out there and be like, how did this just fail on video? But no, they can't be stunned, guys. So that's just something you have to deal with their passives there. But my Basalt is built for damage, guys, so he kind of nukes like a truck. And here we'll go, the same thing on the second stage. AoE slow, everybody. And then, uh-oh. We moved too fast. We killed them too fast. But that's okay. We should probably get around to having a turn again before they do. And we're just going to work on them just a little bit here. Get some provokes out. That was because we went too fast, guys. I normally just auto through ToaH normal, so my monsters are kind of a little bit too strong for this. But just to give the example, we're going to run through it anyway. And I don't anticipate us having any troubles, even though we missed that on the second stage. So I'm going to save my cooldowns actually for the final boss here. So yeah, so the 2 units that I talked about, guys, Spectra and the Taoist, those are absolutely like game-changing monsters, and they're nat 3 stars. And while the Dark Taoist is a dark 3 star, the Water Taoist will do the same thing. And if you don't have those monsters, it's not like you can't do this. We'll talk about some replacements here in a second. But Beretta is not replaceable. Spectra, I'm going to say, is not replaceable because he's just so good, especially with his second ability that does damage based on the boss's HP. So it's a boss killer. It does a ton of damage, especially in ToaH hard, guys. And Mantura. So we'll talk about Mantura. I just bring him in here to speed up my runs. He has an AoE defense break and dot, an AoE slow, and then a beneficial effect removal with his first skill. And so he's a really good all-around utility monster, but I just bring him in to speed up my runs. He's not a necessary unit. So if you wanted to, you could bring another person that does dots, like the Water Grim Reaper Hemos, the Dark Grim Reaper Thrain, and anybody that can apply dots for you, and maybe possibly bring some other utility as well. I personally love the defense break, especially on the tankier fights. So it's kind of up to you. I know not everybody has the Dark Serpent, but if you do have him, definitely pull him out of storage, guys. Build him. You will love him. He's great for this. You can use him in Dragon's Beat 10. You can use him in all of the HOHs. Overall, just a really great monster, guys. I love him. So definitely pull him out and level him up and give him some room. So, and then Basalt, real quick. I know I haven't started the stage yet, but Basalt, guys, last one I'm going to talk about. He is the Dark Mammoth. Obviously, if you have him, you know he's amazing. If you don't have him, use the Water Battle Mammoth, his brother ToaH, because they have to provoke on the first skill and the defense buff and the heal on the second skill. So still great utility to bring, and the Water Battle Mammoth is a lot easier to get than the Dark one. So another good replacement there. Alright guys, so with that said, we're going to get started in here. Like I said, we got the slows up. We missed one, but let's see if we can recover. Still no. Okay, so we're going to take a couple hits. And we're going to go ahead and put the defense break up on everybody. And we will put dots up. So we got a Despair stun, guys, with the Mantura. I have him on Despair. And then we're going to decrease everybody's attack bar and do a lot of damage. And then we'll work on the boss. Look how much damage this does to the boss for a 3-star monster with an AoE slow and attack bar decrease. So it did a pretty good chunk, guys. That's why he's your main boss killer. And it will do relatively that amount no matter how tanky the boss is, because it's based on their maximum HP. So it's going to do that percentage every time. Makes him a really great monster, especially for ToA and really tanky bosses. So these ads, guys, they're never going to move again. And that's really kind of the main thing you have to focus on all of your ToA levels, is keeping everything CC'd as best as possible. These revenge stages are really kind of tough because every time you hit them, if they're not stunned, they're going to revenge and hit you. And that's just not something you can really prevent, especially on the boss, because you cannot stun the boss. So it's kind of something you have to work around just a little bit, but as long as you keep them stunned for the most part, then you don't have much to worry about. Make sure you bring enough CC. And like I said, guys, if you have the Taoist combo, I highly recommend it. It will make your life so much easier in ToA and ToA hard. I'm taking a few hits here, but I can't really prevent the revenges, guys. That's just part of the enemy's passives. If you absolutely have nothing to stun, then I would say bring something tanky. But if you really don't have anything to stun, like a lot of CC monsters, then you really shouldn't be in ToA anyway. So that's it, guys, for these two. We did ToA normal and ToA hard level 50. And this is just my basic team, guys, and it's mostly farmable. The ones that aren't farmable, there are replacements for that are farmable. Beretta, everybody should have. Spectra, everybody should have. Those are easy to get, guys. The Mantura is just an extra bonus, so you can bring another dot person. Basalt you can replace with ToaH, which will fill the same role, just not do as much damage, so your run will take a little bit longer, but the safety and the efficiency will still be there. And the Dark Taoist, guys, if you don't have one, if you don't have him or the water one, bring something with either 2 AoEs that you could put on Despair, or bring something with 2 AoEs and a stun that you could put on Despair. And if you absolutely don't have anything, then I'd recommend trying to bring Veramos. The only thing is his stuns are not 100% reliable, and you're going to have to rely on RNG a little bit to keep those stuns up. Otherwise, guys, you don't need a ton of heals. I try to stay away from heals as much as possible in ToA, except for a few exception stages, because the ultimate goal is to keep them from moving, period, ever. And there are definitely comps that you can use to do that. If you're lucky enough to have a Dark Taoist or a Water Taoist, I recommend that. The other Taoists, guys, they don't work so well with this combination with the Spectra. However, they are excellent attack power decreasers, and you can still use Wuchi and oh gee, what's the other one? I think that's it, because the fire one is a 3-star and he's not necessarily as effective. But you guys can use Wuchi as well, the wind one. Most of the Taoists are good for attack bar decreasing. Spectra is good for you guys. And there's a couple other options out there. So if you guys have, again, specific questions, let me know in the comments below. I'll try to answer them based on your specific monsters and, you know, your kind of status in the game. Real quickly, at the end of the video here, I'm going to go over some runes, just so you guys can kind of see where they're at. My runes are not optimized for ToA, so you're going to see a lot of holes. Like, obviously, look at this, it's kind of sad. We'll just click through them real quick. They could be a lot better, guys. But like I said, it's not really necessary. As long as you're keeping them from moving, then you should be good to go. My Mantura, I built a spare just for the extra stun chance in case I missed. Other than that, I just made him tanky and enough speed so that he could go a couple times before the enemies. My Basalt I have on Violent and Defense Crit Damage Defense, as you guys saw, because I like to have him as my nuker. And then Wound Hack, guys, you just got to make them as fast as you can and put a little bit of accuracy on there so his things will actually hit slow and stun. Otherwise, that's all the stats he needs. Let's go over Spectra real quick. My Spectra I built a little bit differently. I put him on Swift because he has the highest base speed in the game, guys, so he's easy to make very fast. Just make him as fast as you can. You want him to go first, and then you want your ToaH to go, preferably, and then the rest of your team. So I got him on 100% crit rate just so that his second skill does even more damage. And then I have his accuracy as high as I could get it because I want to make sure that he lands this AoE slow and attack bar decrease. So other than that, guys, I just made him fast. I gave him a lot of crit rate and I gave him a lot of accuracy. So that's it for runes, and that's the teams that I use, guys. Another ToA hard and ToA normal monster that I highly recommend, especially if you don't have skill ups in your monsters, is Mav. And Mav is the Wind Penguin Knight. And he's right here. You just put him on, I put him on Violent because it just makes him more efficient, and then he's just a tank for you guys. If you can make him fast, the faster the better. Otherwise, just make him strong and tanky. He has a very amazing kit. He has a stun with his first skill, provoke and heal with his second skill, and then on his third skill, it's the real winner. It removes harmful effects on everybody, and it decreases their skill cooltime by 1 turn each. So everybody gets their cooldowns up 1 turn faster, sometimes 2 turns, depending on how fast you make your Mav. And then it increases their attack speed. So an all-around amazing monster for ToA, especially if you guys don't have skill ups. Makes it so nice. But yeah, guys, so that's about it. I don't want this video to get too long. ToA 50 hard and ToA 50 normal. If you guys have questions, leave them in the comments below. And sorry for those that actually watched the whole thing, because I basically repeated myself in ToA normal and in ToA hard. So anyway, guys, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Let me know why. I like to improve on my videos. I want to make the content better for you guys, something that you enjoy to watch while also being informative. And yeah, so anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Slow on them, and if they're already slowed, it will stun them. And we got lucky enough that it slowed on the first hit and then stunned on the second. So now we're just going to defense break everybody. We are going to... looks like Basalt is going to move before the boss does, so I'm not going to reset his attack bar yet. I want to get some dots up because we need to kill these ads ASAP. And we're actually going to... yeah, we're just going to provoke here. Perfect. Because, guys, that boss, if he uses his third skill, it's absolutely just going to one-shot everybody, and we cannot afford that. And he hits like a truck. So we don't need to decrease his attack bar yet. We'll work on him just a little bit here. We're going to put attack break and glancing. Okay, we only got the attack break, that's okay. We're actually going to heal up here. And perfect, we get a good violent proc. Knock him back. Oh, we didn't get the knockback on the boss. So hopefully Beretta comes through for us. Obviously all these guys are going to be stunned. Hopefully Beretta, can we get the attack bar? Perfect, perfect, perfect. And then we're going to get a more attack bar decrease here with Beretta. Perfect. And then we will work everybody down, get a provoke on the boss. Perfect. Alright, we're going to keep him fast. Alright, guys, so let's talk a little bit more about replacements, hoping everything here goes well. Mantora, guys, I just bring him because he makes my runs faster, because Salt can do it with his third skill, and they're all on relatively low cooldowns. So we shouldn't have too much of a problem. As long as the only issue I see us bumping into is if Spectra misses some of the initial slows, which causes us to not get some of the debuffs off, then we might be in trouble off the start. But if we get all the slows we need, and we get everybody stunned the first round, then we should be good to go from that point on. So I'm going to save up a couple cooldowns as we go through here. So replacements for these units, guys. Beretta, everybody should have Beretta already. He's fusible, guys, and if you're trying to grow into ToA and ToA hard, he's definitely the go-to monster. He's going to make everything so much easier, and he's fusible. So if you guys don't have him, you need to fuse him. He's a key element to a lot of these ToA and ToA hard stages. Spectre, guys, he's a net 3-star. He might be just a little bit harder to get, but he's still a net 3, so he shouldn't be too hard to get. And you guys can farm his brother Bernard the Wind Griffin to get skill hits for him. So again, another great monster that I definitely recommend for ToA. Very easy to get and absolutely essential. Okay, so there we go. We missed 2 of the slows, so the 2 on the left will be stunned, but we're going to have trouble getting the 2 on the right stunned in time. Let's just see if we can get a good proc with his second skill here. Perfect, so he totally recovered for us because the second skill hits twice, and it will put us. What's up, you guys? Vinny Vendetta here, and welcome to another Summoners War video. And today, guys, we're going to be covering some ToA stages, specifically ToA 50 in ToA Normal and ToA 50 in ToA Hard. Got some requests for these today, guys. If you don't know, I'm pretty active in the Reddit forums. I usually post my video for the day in there first and get people's ideas, what kind of content they want to see. And this happened to be the most popular one, so we're going to go with ToA 50 and 50 Hard for today's video. So we're going to start with ToA 50 Hard, and I'm going to start going through it while I'm talking. And we're going to be using my go-to team. This is my standard team that I use mostly through anything. And as I go through it, I'll talk about replacements that we could also possibly use, since not everybody has these monsters. One thing I want to note about this stage in the hard mode, guys, you pretty much have to keep the boss from moving. He can one-shot your entire party with his third skill. It's absolutely insane. So you have to prevent him from moving altogether or keep him provoked, or both. So with this team lineup here, we're going to be able to decrease his attack bar with 3 of his. He has the AoE defense break, and I find that to be really important. He also has other kits, other abilities in his kit, excuse me, that are very effective, such as the AoE slow and the beneficial effect removal on his first ability. Very great ability, very great monster, guys, but not everybody has dark monsters, so a replacement for him, I would recommend bringing any other daughter, guys, just to make your runs faster. That's why I have him in here, is to make my runs faster. So if you have Thrain, the Dark Grim Reaper, or Hemos, the Water Grim Reaper, all good replacements for him. Or you could bring just another defense breaker. There's another monster that I'm kind of curious about. I don't know if you guys have tried her, but I think it's Rebecca. I'm not 100% sure on the name, but it's the Fire Mystic Witch. She has an AoE defense break and an AoE cleanse, so she might be a fun monster to take in and test out as a replacement for the Dark Serpent here, Mantura. Other than that, guys, we have Basalt, the Dark Mammoth. If you have him, obviously you already know he is an amazing ToA and ToA hard monster, so definitely bring him. If you don't have him, you can use his water brother, Talc, because he has the first skill, Provoke, which is very important for these bosses, guys. We have to keep them provoked, otherwise they're going to use one of their abilities and we're all going to die. My monsters. And 3 of our monsters, and we have a provoke on 1 monster. So we have pretty good crowd control with that team there. So we will see how successful it is or isn't. I'm predicting that we're not going to have too much trouble with it. This team is pretty fail-safe. I generally don't have too many problems with it. And if you guys don't know much about these monsters, I've done a video on Woundhack, the Dark Taoist, and his brother, the Water Taoist, Gildong, is very similar and fills the same role. So if you guys haven't checked that out, go ahead and take a look. We'll really help you guys out with some ToA and ToA hard stages. I get questions a lot about how to beat ToA. So if you have a Spectra, the Fire Griffin, and if you have a Water Taoist or a Dark Taoist, you guys are pretty much set with all of ToA. So those 2 together can keep everything stun locked. And you bring a couple backup stunners just for when it happens to miss. But otherwise, guys, it's almost 100% chance success rate. Our main goal here is just going to keep the boss provoked at all times, or stunned. Well, obviously we can't stun the boss, so we need to keep him provoked, or we need to keep his attack bar decreased with 1 of 3 of our monsters. So Beretta can do it with his second skill, Spectra can do it with his third skill, and